The NBA is full of intense rivalries, scandals, and unforgettable stories. But nothing shakes a team to its core more than when a player crosses the ultimate line, getting involved with a teammate's wife. Fans imagine NBA stars as brothers, but loyalty breaks when someone crosses the ultimate line: never touch a teammate's wife. Today, we're diving into the juiciest, most shocking stories of NBA players who allegedly slept with their teammates' wives, and how those affairs left behind chaos, betrayal, and unforgettable scandals. Shaquille O'Neal and the Gilbert Arenas drama. When you think of Shaq, you picture the fun-loving giant, the dominant big man, the guy who made the game look easy. But off the court, his love life was anything but easy. Shaquille O'Neal is one of the biggest names in basketball history, literally and figuratively. On the court, he was unstoppable, a four-time champion, and a global superstar. Off the court, though, Shaq had a reputation for being less than faithful, and in 2010, his personal life made as many headlines as his career. The scandal started when rumors swirled that Shaq was having an affair with Laura Govan. If that name sounds familiar, it's because Laura was engaged to Gilbert Arenas. Yes, that Gilbert, the flashy Washington Wizards star known as Agent Zero. Gilbert and Laura weren't just dating casually. They had been together for nearly a decade, raising kids and planning their future. But then came the bombshell. Leaked emails between Shaq and Laura surfaced, with messages that were way too personal to ignore. Laura tried to dismiss the messages as fake, even making jokes about Shaq's size being too much. But the damage was done. Shaq's wife, Shawnee, quickly filed for divorce. Gilbert, meanwhile, had to endure brutal heckling from fans. He later admitted that when he was at the free throw line, people would scream Shaq's name just to rattle him. Even worse, he remembered seeing kids in the crowd making obscene gestures to mock him. That's humiliation on another level. Shaq later admitted in his memoir, Shaq Uncut, that he struggled with fidelity throughout his career, claiming the constant attention from women was too much to resist. His ex-wife, Shawnee, confirmed that for him, cheating was like an ego boost, something he did almost like a conquest. For fans, this scandal was jaw-dropping, but for people who knew Shaq's history, it was sadly no surprise. But if you thought Shaq's mess was bad, wait until you hear about a scandal that tore apart one of the most promising teams in the East. Paul George, Roy Hibbert. Cheating doesn't just wreck families, it can wreck franchises. The Indiana Pacers of the early 2000s were supposed to be the future. They had a young Paul George, a dominant big man in Roy Hibbert, and role players like Lance Stephenson who gave the team its identity. For a while, they looked ready to take down LeBron's Miami Heat. But in 2014, it all fell apart. And some say it wasn't because of basketball. Rumors erupted that Paul George had been sleeping with the wife of his own teammate, Roy Hibbert. The story came from gossip site Baller Alert, but it spread like wildfire. According to the rumors, Hibbert's wife eventually confessed the affair to him, overwhelmed by guilt. That's when the Pacers' season spiraled. Hibbert, usually solid on defense, suddenly looked lost. His numbers tanked, and analysts called it the worst stretch of his entire career. Fans couldn't ignore the timing. The team collapsed in the playoffs, and Hibbert's decline lined up almost perfectly with the cheating scandal. Things got so bad that the drama spilled into practice. Lance Stephenson allegedly called out Hibbert in front of teammates, accusing him of being distracted. Evan Turner stepped in to defend Hibbert, and before long, the two were in a full-blown fight. Imagine being on a team fighting for a championship, and instead, players are literally choking each other in practice over a cheating scandal. Paul George, meanwhile, had his own history of drama. Around the same time, he was accused of getting a stripper pregnant while still dating Callie Rivers, the daughter of NBA coach Doc Rivers. Talk about crossing lines. Paul denied parts of the story, but his name was already becoming synonymous with controversy. For the Pacers, this was the beginning of the end. What was once a tight, promising team destined to challenge LeBron never recovered. And many fans will always believe it wasn't just the Heat that beat them. It was betrayal from within. But if you think team betrayal is bad, how about when the scandal explodes into Hollywood headlines? Tony Parker, Brent Barry, and Eva Longoria. This wasn't just an NBA scandal. It was a Hollywood tabloid explosion. Tony Parker had it all. He was the star point guard for the San Antonio Spurs, a multiple-time champion, and he was married to Eva Longoria, one of the biggest TV stars of the 2000s. To the outside world, their marriage looked perfect. But in 2010, that perfect image came crashing down. Eva filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. But shortly after, the real reason came out. Tony Parker had allegedly been exchanging hundreds of intimate text messages with Erin Barry, the wife of his Spurs teammate Brent Barry. Eva later revealed that she had found the messages and was devastated. It wasn't just a slip-up. It was a long trail of texts, a pattern of betrayal. Erin denied having a physical affair, but the Barry marriage still crumbled soon after. Brent filed for divorce, and his father, NBA Hall of Famer Rick Barry, publicly admitted he was heartbroken and shocked. The fallout was brutal. Tony and Eva divorced, Brent and Erin divorced, and while Parker kept playing at a high level, fans never looked at him the same. After all, it's one thing to cheat. It's another to cheat with the wife of your friend and teammate. That's next-level betrayal. And this wasn't just locker room gossip. This was splashed across every entertainment headline. Eva Longoria, star of Desperate Housewives, talking publicly about her heartbreak? That turned a sports scandal into a full-on Hollywood tabloid circus. The wildest of the rest: Fisher, Barnes, Bynum, and Shannon Brown. Believe it or not, the scandals don't stop there. The NBA has more than a few messy chapters left. Let's talk about Andrew Bynum now. Once seen as the future of the Lakers, Bynum's career fell apart quickly due to injuries and inconsistency. But in 2014, things got worse when rumors broke that he was caught having an affair with the fiancée of his assistant coach, Jamal Mosley. The Cavaliers suspended Bynum for conduct detrimental to the team, and while the organization denied the cheating rumors, the whispers stuck. For Bynum, who was already fighting to stay relevant, this was the final blow. He never regained his footing in the NBA. Then there's the infamous Derek Fisher and Matt Barnes saga. Barnes and Fisher had played together on the Lakers, and Barnes was married to reality star Laura Govan. After the marriage ended, Fisher started dating Gloria. Barnes was furious. In one of the craziest stories in NBA gossip history, Barnes allegedly drove 15 minutes to Gloria's house, jumped the fence, and confronted Fisher in person. The fight turned physical, and the story exploded in the media. Years later, Fisher and Gloria married, and somehow Barnes and Fisher made peace. But the image of Barnes storming a house to fight his ex-teammate? That's legendary. And then we have Shannon Brown and Pau Gasol. Brown and Gasol were part of the Lakers' back-to-back championships. But behind the scenes, rumors swirled that Brown had an affair with Gasol's fiancée during the 2011 playoffs. Gasol's numbers plummeted, the Lakers got eliminated, and fans couldn't help but connect the dots. Brown's contract wasn't renewed, and while the Lakers denied any connection, the whispers never died down. These scandals prove that when love, betrayal, and ego mix with basketball, the result is chaos. The NBA is built on talent, trust, and teamwork. But when that trust is broken in the most personal way, the effects can last longer than any championship run. From Shaq's messy affairs, to Tony Parker's Hollywood heartbreak, to the infamous fight between Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher, these scandals show us that sometimes the real drama isn't on the court. It's off it. So now I'll ask you, should these scandals impact how we remember these players' legacies, or should their off-court lives stay separate from their careers? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into NBA's wildest stories.